Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Peter Jennings, and I go by CSURAM88 across the daily fantasy industry. And back again here at FantasyLabs doing another lineup review. I'm going to have to keep it relatively quick. I'm actually on the road and will be traveling for the next couple weeks for the live finals. So, recording this not at home, so going to have to be a little quicker than normal. But I wanted to take a look at the King of the Beach, which I heard was a great tournament, a lot of fun. I was down in the Bahamas, and it was kind of a cool structure as a survival style tournament where you had to basically qualify in. 180 people qualified, and then they did a week where 50 of the 180 advance to this final. So, really cool tournament by DraftKings. Heard the experience is great. Co-founder here at FantasyLabs, Jonathan Bales, actually went down there, and sounds like it was a good time. So, my team ended up finishing 13th out of 50, really low scoring. I'll review the top lineups here in a second, but quickly looking at my lineup, I went for the game stack in KC Atlanta. Felt pretty good about that. Something that I definitely like to do in these spots. And yeah, Matt Ryan almost got the 300-yard bonus. Certainly didn't come through in terms of touchdown equity. A lot of rushing touchdowns, but feel pretty good about the process. I like Carlos Hyde a lot. He didn't, really benefit from the 49ers offense in general. They were really struggling. Kaepernick got pulled. The weather was wacky there. I do think it was an interesting decision what to do at running back. Obviously, I really wanted to play Le'Veon and David Johnson in this specific spot, but it was really hard to make a game stack that I liked with that, and I just didn't feel quite as good about my lineups with those two. Cash games, it's easier to do that, but when you're trying to get first out of 50, you need a lot of correlation, and some other guys that you feel really confident in that might be lower owned. So I went with David Johnson over Le'Veon. I played both over on FanDuel. DraftKings, it was a much tougher decision how to work both of them in, like I just mentioned. And I just think David Johnson in this, I think David Johnson is slightly ahead of Le'Veon Bell, the way things are working out. I mean, the way he's catching the ball right now is just insane. Le'Veon is also getting as many targets as any running back outside of David Johnson, but double-digit targets. And if you look at his receiving numbers, he's one of the best receivers in the league without his rushing stats. So David Johnson for me is the number one guy when they both have good matchups. Tyreek Hill really owned. Don't have to go too much into that. Same thing with Julio. Matt Ryan, I was obviously going to stack with him. I went for the double stack with Sanu and ran it back twice with Kelsey and Tyreek, just basically hoping that this game shot out more than any other spot. And yeah, it definitely was a good game, exciting game, but didn't come to fruition to have a first place winning lineup. But how should I phrase this? I'm not upset with the process. So Dorial Green-Beckham was the other guy that was really heavily owned. 3K with Jordan Matthews out. A lot of people went to him. He did end up getting hurt, but 10 targets, still can't be upset with the process there. And Ravens D actually worked out really well for me. There was a couple good defenses, but being on the right side of the defensive variance actually moved this lineup up a good bit. This lineup probably would have been average if you look through here the scores. So let's take a look here at some of the other scores here on this lineup. The winning lineup we had here with Stucky. Congratulations. Roto Hobo at number 2, and that Stunner in the 3. So congrats to the guys up top. Really narrow range of scores, as you can see here, which is interesting to think about the ownership and just how people made lineups. Looking at the winning lineup, it was a Stafford stack, which I really liked with Theo Riddick and Golden Tate. Sammy Watkins, also at 2%, was a really high upside play that I thought was sharp. Dennis Pitt obviously had a huge game. So a lot of really low-owned guys that did well, and always have to have love for someone who plays the Broncos D. So congrats on chipping the 100K and winning this tournament. Some other good lineups. Roto Hobo had a Drew Brees stack, which is impressive to get second with Brees in your lineup. Got good production from Crabtree. Le'Veon obviously had a good game. The Ravens and Ladarius Green was really the key here. So good lineups across the board. This was a fun tournament to compete in, and congrats to everyone who did well here. Again, I'm Peter Jennings. I go by CSURAM88. As always, looking to see more Fantasy Lab subscribers at the top of the leaderboard.